afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Teresa's Kitchen. I know it's been a long time, but sis has been so busy. Like I told you guys once before, sis has a day job, she's a school teacher, and it requires all of my undivided attention. But since I'm off for these next couple of days, I figured I'll muster up the energy to try to at least to create one of the videos. And what more better day to begin to create this video? Thanksgiving. So I figured on the menu, one of the recipes that I will be making today is collard greens. Yes, my version of collard greens. These are actually collard greens that I've gotten from a friend, and they came from Georgia. So let me show you what the collard greens look like. Right here, this is what I call some collard greens versus your regular store-bought collard greens that's inside of the store. She told me her uncle went and got some collard greens from Georgia. And so I'm thinking like, whoa. So by the time she brought them to my house, it's like 3 bunches. At first we said, okay, we're gonna do like 5 bunches of collard greens, thinking this regular size collard greens. And here I have this gigantic bunch of greens. First, what I did, I just cut off the stems to make life a little bit easier for me, as you guys can see. And then now what I'm doing is like I'm kind of sorting through the greens to see which ones are good and which ones are bad. And what I mean by which one is good and which one is bad, you see this one right here, it has holes in it. It's a little frail looking. Normally you can save these greens by cutting out the holes or pulling out the holes. You're also looking to see like this. This is the perfect green that you would want. When you're cleaning your greens, you're making sure there's no type of bugs on it, that they're not all eaten up and all just not worth cooking, like this one and this one. So I'm kind of like putting them to the side. I personally like to take the stem off. This is the stem coming from the collard green itself. Okay, this is the stem. So what I'm gonna do, I have at least 3 whole big bunches to do. We're feeding like a gathering of maybe 10 people. So, by the time greens cook up, it basically shrinks. So I'll let you know how I'm doing within the next hour of cleaning these greens, and I'll show you what the results are after cleaning all these bunch of greens. But again, you're looking for greens like this. And what I mean by all you need to do is like take this off right here, because it makes it really bitter. So you're basically pulling the leaf off the stem. I'll show you in a moment. So let me talk about the stem. Remember, I was just saying earlier, you want to be able to take the leaf itself, the collard green leaf, off the stem. All you need to do is like fold it and just break along the part of the stem. You just taking it off, about that much. The rest is garbage. And then I'm just gonna put it in the sink so I can begin eventually to wash them off. Again, here's another beautiful one. You're just looking all around the leaf to make sure that there are no kind of bugs or anything on the leaf. They're not looking so bad. You basically break them off the stem like this. You take it, I'm gonna show you a side view, and you're just pulling up the stem from the leaf. And that way you have your collard green. Okay, so when I'm done, which as you guys can see, hold on a second, I have 1 bunch of greens right here, and I got 2 more bunches of greens. I don't know what I was thinking about, but yeah, I have a lot of work in front of me to do. So hopefully I have enough pots to make these greens. Wish me luck. I'll be back shortly. So if you run across a collard green, I hope you guys can see it. It has little holes in it, little brown spots. If you think it's worthwhile saving it, then maybe you can. You see the holes? I hope you guys can see the holes. I have the light on over my kitchen, that's why it's a little bright. But you can actually pinch where the holes are, like pinch off those little brown spots. And then if the leaf is a little dry, you can just basically pick it off, but you're gonna get rid of the stem anyway. You see this big old hole right here? You just fold it over, and you just basically take it and just peel it off, and that way it's nice and fresh again. If you don't have a lot of collard greens like I do, so again, you just take it off the stem Just pull it off the stem, just like that. Okay, so again, here's another one. If you feel like it's worth saving, you can either fold it over, take your finger and run it through it to get all of where the insect's been eaten on. That's if you choose to do it that way. If not, you can basically discard it, the whole leaf. Remember, these are coming from out of the ground, so all kind of things have been fertilized in these particular greens. So, you know, you can decide to keep it or discard it. But I just wanted to show you what I was talking about. So as I'm still cleaning the green, I can see the actual, you know, mark where the ant or whatever insect was basically chewing off of it. It's rigid, so it's real funny, you know. I wouldn't want to keep this. I mean, if I wanted to keep it, if I had a small bunch, I would probably just break all that part off. I'm just coming back and forth just to show you guys, you know, how the collard greens sometimes actually come, and you have to kind of like work with it if you don't want to throw away all of your collard greens. And up here, there's this humongous hole, so all I'm gonna do is fold it over like this again and just break around that hole that the insects were eating on. You don't know what critters were eating on it, but again, notice how I was able to go and just break off the parts that I didn't want, and you can actually save it. So I am officially done with my first bunch of greens. Here were the stems that came off the greens. And let me just show you the second bunch of greens I'm gonna make. Do you see how long that stem is? Sis, you don't need all that. Cut it off. Get to the meat of the things. And then also, this is my stems and leaves that I'm not gonna use because they were old and all raggedy. You can't eat. Man, I mean, if you want to use the stems, that's your choice. So after I got all that cleaned up, here's the results of my one bunch of greens right there. It's almost filling up the sink. So when I come back, I have bunch number 2 to do and bunch number 3 over here on this counter to do. So I'll be back in a few. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a few of these leaves. I'd rather just chop them up first and then wash them. So I gather a bunch of them up together. And the easiest way to cut them up is just to basically put them in one stack. And then you roll them up like this. Like this. You roll them up like this. And then you chop it up really small. Like you're shredding them. So that's what I'm doing. The end results when I have basically cut up the collard greens. This is what they're gonna look like. So I have a whole sink full. So now I need to get to working. So I'll let you see the end results at the end. So just in case you missed, this is how I roll up my collard greens, and then I cut them going diagonally across like this, and when they separate, then I cut them again. And here are the greens. I'm washing them as I'm cutting them up at the same time, and so they're all nice and shredded up. So this will be your ending result. So remember, we started from this to this. So I am done cutting up all of the greens. So at the end of the day, if you like, subscribe and click like. And thank you once again for visiting Teresa's Kitchen. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, you all.